What's happening? Welcome on in, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. I'm in a great mood, man. And how fun was that college football last night, huh? Pretty doggone fun. As usual, if you enjoyed the content, and hopefully you do, give us a little thumbs up or at least become a subscriber. We would certainly appreciate the support. It's your boy, just the dude talking sports, amongst other things, coming live to you here on a Sunday, man. That college football action was crazy last night. Starting with the game of the week, the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs, 6 versus 4. Excuse me, 2 versus 4. SEC heavyweights. It was everything as advertised. Man, Bama came out the gates hot. I thought they was gonna blow Georgia out. I mean, they came out the gates hot, but give it up to the Georgia kids. They battled. They stayed in the game. They made it a great game, um, and it was everything as advertised. Kalen DeBoer is a hell of a coach. You don't take a background. Well, I shouldn't say that. Nick Saban will go down as possibly the greatest college football coach ever. You don't take a back hit to anybody if you're Kalen DeBoer. But that was a hell of a game. Let's just go through some of the stats. Final score 41-34 Bama. Bama went up early 28-0. Jalen Milroe, I think, became the front runner for the Heisman Trophy last night with his performance. I mean, the kid was sensational. He had almost 100 yards of rushing. Excuse me, he did have over 100 yards of rushing in the first half. Georgia didn't score until about 6:40 in the half to go, but Milroe was sensational. Womack, the defense coordinator for Bama, was dialing it up. He had Carson Beck seeing ghosts. He was putting the pressure on him. Everything was looking like a Bama blowout. But in the second half, you would have to say that Georgia, except for a couple of plays, outplayed Alabama. Georgia took the lead with 2 minutes to go in the game, and Bama was bailed out by the super sensational freshman, 17-year-old Ryan Williams out of Mobese, Alabama. Yeah, man, he looks like he's the real deal. The kid put on the show, had a sensational 75-yard game-clinching touchdown catch in which he was out there playing, second grade tag. Man, had the Georgia defender spinning around. But man, what a show! Carson Beck had three interceptions, so he hurt his team earlier. The super sensational freshman Ryan Williams, as I mentioned, had 6 grabs for 177 yards, along with 2 tutties. Milroe was 27 of 33 for 374 yards and 2 touchdown passes, along with 2 on the ground, an additional 117 yards rushing. If Jalen Milroe is not the front runner, now I know we're still in September, so it's early. We have the Heisman, so for the September winner, but right now he has to be the front runner for the Heisman with that performance against the top 3 team in the nation. Don't know if Bama is going to face a tougher defense this season than Georgia. Got to give it up to the Bama coaching staff. They came in with a plan. They knew that Georgia is stout up front. So what did the board and the staff do? They attacked the edges. They attacked the edges with Milroe. They attacked the edges with the running back. They attacked the edges every time they could with all kind of play calls. So give it up to the Bama coaching staff for that scheme. It's funny. So I saw a stat last night. Bama has won the last 9 out of 10 against Georgia. And Kirby Smart, since 2021, is 44-0 against every other school not named Alabama. I mean, that's crazy. So Bama is his kryptonite right now. Smart in the last 4 contests is 1-3 against Bama. So, that's something that Kirby Smart is going to have to figure out. But hell of a game, lived up to the hype, which he usually does. Bama, Georgia, you're going to get the heavyweights. Those kids deserve to get paid. They put on the show last night. Moving on. Duke 21, UNC 20. Mac Brown, you have to get your defense figured out, man. You got to get your defense figured out. Although Mac Brown was previously undefeated against Duke, going 5-0 since he's returned to Chapel Hill, North Carolina was up 20-0 midway through the third quarter and lost the game 21-20. Like, how do you do that? Let me just say this. If you're a team that's in need of an offensive fix, just play North Carolina. That's all you have to do. Just schedule Carolina because they can't stop a damn nosebleed. Them dudes, man, they can't stop a damn banana from being yellow. Duke is now 5-0. Kudos to Manny Diaz and his staff. Duke 5-0. It's not often that Duke is relevant football-wise, but they are this year. And how good of a win must it be for Manny Diaz, who was fired back in his Texas days when he was Mac Brown's defensive coordinator. Manny Diaz was fired by Mac Brown after the 6th game of the season, in which Diaz's defense get Mac Brown and his defense again. So Diaz's defense back then when he was at Texas gave up almost 600 yards rushing to BYU. After the game, Mac fired him. So sweet redemption to Manny Diaz. And I don't know if it surprised me or not, but surprisingly, through the first 5 games of the season, UNC actually doesn't have the worst defense in the ACC. I thought they would, but they don't. They have the 3rd worst, thanks to NC State being worse, giving up 33.6 points per game, Wake Forest being the 2nd worst, and UNC 3rd from the bottom, giving up almost 27.6, almost 28 points per game. So when your defense is this porous, you're not going to win many games. It's not like Duke is some high-powered offense. I mean, they just happen to get the job done. But once again, UNC's defense is the problem with that team. You up 20-0 in the third quarter, and you lose 21-20. So, in case you're wondering, because I was the top defense in the ACC thus far this year, is the Cal Bears. Cal is the top defensive unit in the conference, which is very surprising. Last year, UNC's defense gave up a total of 404 yards per game, and they picked up right where they left off last season. The 404 yards a game actually was 3rd worst in the ACC from the bottom. Virginia had the worst defense last year. They're right back to being atrocious. Staying right in the ACC, Florida State. Wow. You talking about going from the penthouse to the outhouse? Florida State lose again last night, this time to SMU, who just got to the conference like yesterday. Like SMU is a former AAC squad. They lose 42-16 to SMU. What happened to all the potential 1st and 2nd round picks that Florida State has on its defensive line that they paid over $1 million for in NIL money? What happened to those kids? Did they all of a sudden stop knowing how to play football? Man, Florida State has gone down in 1 year. It's amazing. I don't know what to say. I don't know what's happened to Florida State. They look like a D2 squad out there, Sorry, D2. Much respect to Grand Valley State, however. But geez, Mike Norvell. Now, Mike Norvell, he brought himself some time with that undefeated season last year. But if he has another stinker next year, like he's having this year, Mike Norvell is done at Florida State. Promise you that. Florida State goes down 42-16 at SMU. Moving right along, some other games. How about Kentucky going into Oxford and getting the win over previously unranked number 6 Ole Miss. Ole Miss 22-17. It was Kentucky's highest ranked win since 2007 when they beat LSU. It was Ole Miss's first loss to Kentucky at home since 1978. USC beat Wisconsin 38-21. Wisconsin, what's up, bro? What's up with the defense? What's up, Luke Fickell? That Fickell was a defensive guy. USC outscored Wisconsin 28-0 in the second half. Man, didn't see that coming. Notre Dame beat Louisville 31-24. Even had your boy Riley Leonard throwing a touchdown pass. I didn't know the dude can throw. You always see him running. So Notre Dame is staying on track to possibly make the playoffs. Should I say, I don't know if this is a shocker, but I think the shocking thing is just how sound, just how good Kirk Cignetti in his first year has made Indiana football relevant. I mean, so far as relevancy, you have to say that Indiana football is more irrelevant than Duke football. And I only say that because, both are traditional basketball schools. No question about it. Indiana 42, Maryland 28. Previously unbeaten Maryland Terrapins, by the way. This is Indiana's best start since 1967, folks. Hoosiers 5-0. Look out, Big Ten with the big red attack. Curtis Rourke threw for a season high 359 yards and 3 tuds Saturday. And the Indiana defense came up with with stop over the final 22 minutes. Once again, defeating Maryland 42-28 for its first 5-0 start since 1967. Hats off to Hoosiers. Other games, that was about it. The big one for me was the Georgia Bama game. Of course, you had the rivalry in Duke UNC. I didn't stay up long enough. To watch the game out west between Oregon, I believe Oregon State. I didn't stay up for that one. Now let me get that right. It was. Let me see who the hell was out west. Let's see. Scores. Arch Manning got a win over Mississippi State 35-13. Mississippi State is 1-4. Man, they're looking bad. Buckeyes of Ohio State take care of Michigan State 38-7. It was Oregon UCLA. I'm sorry. Oregon 34, UCLA 13. That was That was a late game. That didn't start until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wasn't staying up for that one. Penn State beat Illinois. They didn't, they kind of squeaked by with 7-7 at halftime. Had the whiteout in Happy Valley, so they beat Illinois 21-17. Arizona 23-10 over Utah. Cam Rising didn't play in that one, so that's probably why Arizona got by Utah. Michigan squeaked by Minnesota 27-24. Michigan is they're going to continue to do it on the ground as long as they can because they don't have any semblance of a passing game. Mullings, their running back, 24 carries for 111 yards, and that's how they're going to get it done. Don't even know. Let's see, just curious. Ugh, that's ugly. Alex Orji, Michigan's quarterback, was 10 of 18 for 86 yards. Folks, anytime you're a quarterback and you pass for less than 100 yards in a football game, that's tough. But, hey, Michigan got the dub. They're now 4-1. Guess you guys saw Virginia Tech lose to Miami on the last second Hail Mary that wasn't on Thursday night, 38-34. That was a big win for Cam Ward and the Hurricanes. What else stood out? Clemson steamrolled Stanford 40-14. So Dabo Swinney and the boys looking like they're the ACC front runners. Oklahoma gets its first SEC win, 27-21 over Auburn. Auburn 2-3, 0-2 in the SEC. Good luck, Hugh Freeze. Good luck. Texas A&M squeaked by Arkansas 21-17. Texas A&M is a quiet 4-1, 2-0 SEC. Look out. That's Elko doing his thing down there. And Boise State broke out the whooping stick on Washington State 45-24. All right, folks, that's pretty much all we have. That's a wrap on that one. Enjoy your football Sunday. And as usual, like I said, if you like the content, please subscribe. Please give us a like. And until next time, peace and blessings, everybody. Have a great Sunday.